That's right. I wish for more beans. I love beans, guys. I probably shouldn't have to tell you that. I mean, this is going to be a whole video about beans, but I'm a big beaner. I love beans, not just because I grew these by myself in my own garden, but also because they're delicious and they're food, right? They're not food yet, but they will be food. And beans are a great analogy for life because it actually takes a lot of effort to get beans. You have to dig a hole, you gotta plant them, you gotta water them if you want them to grow, And of course, God grows the plants on his own. He uses the rain and stuff. But that doesn't mean we can't help out a little bit. That doesn't mean we can't serve the earth. So I've got green beans here too. I don't care so much about the green beans. I leave them to dry. The green beans remind me of vegetables. But these dried beans, that's really what I'm after. This is the gold mine for me. And this takes a lot more effort because you got to wait for them to dry out. You got to wait for the proper time to harvest them. Of course, you got to grow them. This sort here, I actually got from my aunt. She's from the mountains, and they're like these little zebra striped beans. They taste delicious when they're cooked right. And why am I making this video, guys? It's because I want you being the person you're meant to be. So a little play on words there. I'm having fun here, right? I want you being the person you're meant to be. And a tragedy of this world is that most people, they're not actually sure what that is. They don't know who they're meant to be. They think that purpose is something that we're supposed to find. It's something that we're supposed to decide on. But if you open the Bible to the very first page, God had a plan for us from the very beginning. It says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, after God created man, right, God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and the birds of the heavens and over every living thing that moves on the earth. So we're meant to be fruitful. Now, in the context, it seems to be talking about having children, right? It says, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. And then it says, subdue it. To subdue something is to take over it, to rule it. It says, have dominion over the fish of the sea and the birds of the heavens and over every living thing that moves on the earth. To have dominion is to rule over it. And a good ruler doesn't just take advantage of everything. It says that when a good ruler is present, the people rejoice, but the people cry out with pain when a wicked ruler rules them. So we're meant to be good rulers over the earth, not to be subdued by the earth, but to subdue it. And if I could draw a little analogy here, it also says that God created man out of the earth, out of clay we were formed, right? This is actually not so different from what an atheist thinks in a different sense, right? An atheist will tell you, oh, we're all made of stardust and we're just cosmic dust in a big empty void. We're just dust made of nothingness and whatever. I used to be an atheist and I used to believe all that stuff. And let me tell you, it's a lot more comforting to think that a loving creator made me with a purpose. Because if I don't have that, then I'm just an ape spinning around in a marble, in the middle of a giant void, and my presence is meaningless. But the Bible tells me God called us for a reason. He created us for a reason. He created us to be fruitful, to multiply, to fill the earth, and to subdue it. So this video is about how I brought these beans from the garden to the kitchen table, to the dining room table, right? To become food. You could go to the store, get a can of beans, it costs like $1, and you can just overlook the fact that there was a lot of effort and time put into this. Someone had to plant these beans, they had to grow them, they had to water them, they had to care for them. After that, someone had to harvest them, they had to clean them, they had to dry them a little bit, they had to store them, and by the time it got to you, they got to cook them. Beans take a long time to cook. This is the one thing I don't like about beans so much, is they take so freaking long to cook. But let me tell you, the best things in life, they take time and they take discipline. If you want to build a good physique, you got to put in the time. You have to work out every week, multiple times a week. You have to put in the effort, right? You got to eat right. You got to discipline yourself, and you got to do that for a long time. In comparison, boiling these beans for like 3 hours, it's nothing, right? It's nothing in comparison to that. But let me tell you, it takes a whole season to get these beans to the point where you could just put them in a pot, fill it with water, and boil them and cook them up, right? So beans are a great analogy for life, because the effort you put in, that's what you get out. If you don't care to water them, you're not going to be as fruitful when it comes time to harvest. If you don't plant them, you're not going to have anything, right? They're not just going to sprout out of nowhere. I mean, that's happened to me too, where you just get a bean pop up in the yard. I got a little carrot on my foot, excuse me. That'll happen too, but usually, even when they come out accidentally, it's because the previous year I was growing beans and we dropped a few here and there. And so when it came spring, those sprout and they grow. And I learned what a mirepoix was this year, right? It's just like a thing from French cuisine. It's just a base for cooking, for soup specifically, carrot, onion, celery. But it's cool to know that there's actually a name for this. It's cool to know that people put so much time into their craft to where something so simple as like a combination of carrot, onion, and celery has a name, right? And you could say mirepoix, and a chef will tell you, I know what that is. I know exactly how to make that. I know how to prepare that. It takes effort to learn. It takes discipline. You can't just be lollygagging. You got to pay attention. You got to focus, right? You got to have a little focus. Don't let that thought slip from you. Write it down if you need to, because you might lose it. Don't leave the work you could do today for tomorrow, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. So do something productive today. The reason I'm making this video is because I want you being who you're called to be. I don't want you lazy. I don't want you just mucking around. I want you to be a leader on the earth. I want you to work towards that. I want you to take the trash out, right? Throw that garbage in the trash. If you got some food scraps, start a composter. I'm taking these food scraps from this food to the composter where the worms are going to eat it up, and in a season, it'll turn into good soil, and I'll be able to use that soil to plant more beans. It's all about beans, guys. It's the cycle of life. I learned how to make beans from my dad. This is kind of like a recipe that I'm adapting. I kind of took what my dad taught me and something I saw my aunt do, which was she made beans with like meatballs and sausage and stuff. And I just used some sausage from the store. But one thing I love about cooking at home is that, look, homemade can of tomatoes, right? We make so much off of our little piece of land. This garlic, it probably came from the store, but we also have garlic in the garden, right? The only thing in this dish that isn't really from the garden, it's gonna be like the salt and the meatballs, because I just used some sausage that I got from the store. But, I could have gone hunting, and I've never actually been hunting. I'm just, being a poser for you. I mean to say, I could have ground my own meat and made my own meatballs, right? I didn't need to go the lazy way and use sausage. I did that. Sometimes I'll just get ground beef and I'll season it, and it's pretty good, but like that too. I actually don't like the store sausage so much. It's just this was kind of the easy way to do it. But look, you were called for a purpose. One thing that I'm called to do is to cook for the people I care about. To cook a nice, big, beautiful pot of beans for the people I love. It's good organic food right from our garden, right? I know this is gonna feed and energize and fuel the people I love. I'm called to clean around the house because I want the space to be organized for the people I love, so they're not like looking around for the TV remote, or they're not like stepping on crumbs. They're not living with mice and cockroaches. I want the people I live with, the people I love, to have a good life. So I made some beans. And I grew these beans. And I dare say I'm proud of it because God's given me this opportunity to do this. I'm not proud of myself that I did it necessarily. I'm proud that, God would even give us the grace of letting us do this. Because, I spent years addicted to drugs, looking at dirty websites, chasing poontang, and I see there's a better way to life. Being a beaner is better. I love you. Thank you for watching. Jesus loves you. And I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye.